From the Telegraph, live, Huntingdon suspect could be linked to stabbing of boy 14 before the train rampage. Could. Knowing what we know about the British police and the authorities, could's doing some heavy lifting there, isn't it? The headline might as well be, Bonnie Blue could have a minge, like a gutted fireplace. Right, this story's a lot worse than the headline seems to indicate. A lot worse. And again, if you pay attention to politics, it's not even that interesting, is it? It's boring. Because this happens every single time. Every time there's a mass casualty attack in the UK, every time, I'm not exaggerating, Rudu Kanubu is just the most egregious example in a long, long line of examples where the coppers in the UK must be willfully ignorant. You would have to go to work every day with a bin bag stapled to your forehead in order to be as willfully ignorant as the British police and the government and the authorities are when you're dealing with the worst type of psychotic terrorists or mental cases. They seem to be so desperate to give off this veneer of colour blindness that when a man who happens to be a different colour to a pasty Glaswegian ginger, when they happen to be a different colour to someone like that, it doesn't matter how many red flags they give off, how many times they've been arrested, how many times they've swung a machete at someone or had a long, in-depth conversation with Beelzebub in their own head while 40 coppers are looking at them. Doesn't matter how many times it happens, they'll just keep on ignoring it. So, of course, after Rudu Kanubu was referred to the police about 15 times and they didn't do anything about it, of course, this bloke, raving lunatic with some sort of medieval weapon in his hand, of course, he was known to the police. And not just known to them, he was literally getting stabby, apparently, the day before this happened. The story reads, suspect could be linked to a stabbing before the train spree, as a teenager was attacked in Peterborough city centre the day before the train rampage took place. And this image is apparently from when he went off it in a barber shop with a somewhat sizable piece of silverware in his hand. Here's what we know about the possible linked incident. Cambridgeshire police are investigating links between Anthony Williams and 3 incidents in Peterborough on Friday, October the 31st and Saturday, November 1st. And here's what we know about those incidents. First of all, at 7:25 on Friday, he was going off it in a barber's in Fletton with a knife, and it was reported to the police at 9:10. But as he'd left, the coppers went, who cares? Don't want to get off my fat ass and walk to the barber's. I'll just stay here, polish off a packet of digestives and flag a few dozen of the angry Bootneck's tweets instead. That's useful. Yeah, the 46-year-old bloke who's never been in trouble with the law. Yeah, make sure you watch people like that. At 7:10 on Friday evening, a 14-year-old boy was stabbed by a man. Just a man. The victim was taken to Peterborough City Hospital with minor injuries. The suspect left the scene as the call was made, and despite a search by officers and a police dog, they were not identified. A search. What did they do? Let the dog out for a piss for 5 minutes while they sat in Starbucks. But a crime was raised and an investigation was commenced. I feel much better about it all. Then on Saturday morning, so he got his head down for 10 hours and then went back to work. And by work, I mean having rambling conversations with demons and shrieking at onlookers while brandishing an 8-inch blade. Brilliant. At 9:25 a.m. on Saturday morning, a second incident was reported by the barbers in Fletton. The man was still at the scene and officers were deployed to the location, arriving within 18 minutes. Within 18 minutes. Like that's quick. Officers conducted a search, but they couldn't locate or identify him. So who cares? Who cares? Yeah, I guarantee if he looked like me, they'd have found him. I guarantee it. Because then they could have plastered my grid all over the mainstream media and went, look, a knife man, and he's pale. Get in. It's a sick joke, this. The American prepper types used to always say, yeah, you need your own firearm because the coppers are a phone call away. And British people thought, no, it's fine, because we live in a little country, the police station's only 2 miles away. If I call the coppers, they'll be there in 5 minutes. Well, they won't be there in 5 minutes, will they? Because they're too busy policing the internet and arresting people for telling jokes. When an African fella with a machete wreaks havoc for 24 hours in multiple incidents over the course of a Friday to Saturday, and they don't give a single shite, do they? And then he gets on a train and he knifes 11 people, and then they go, oh, well, there's nothing we could have done to prevent it. Yeah, you could. You could have nicked him when he stabbed the first kid 24 hours earlier. You could have done that. It's ludicrous. They're not trying. The fact is, the police are broken. Peter Hitchens was calling this years ago. The College of Policing wants bulldozing. 80% of all the coppers want firing, right? Get the military to fill in for a few months, and then they could just fire and hire an entire new police department, pull it out, root and branch, and bin a lot of them, because these little dumpy fat dwarfs, which seems to be 40% of them these days, 51% women, because they're mega useful. Some sparrow-born 5'2" woman is mega useful when a 6'2" African fella brandishing a lump of sharpened steel is waving it about. What are they going to do? Well, I'll tell you what they're going to do. They're going to cry, and then they're going to pray someone like me or you, a bloke, a member of the public who isn't being trained or paid by the government, they're going to pray you deal with it, aren't they? And that's not hyperbolic. You all remember that story, don't you? The public should get involved to help officers under attack, says Met Police Chief. Cressida Dick says people who feel able should do something physical if they see an officer getting a kicking. And Thames Valley Police and Crime Commissioner said that the public have got to deal with shoplifters. Yeah, all right, I'll tell you what, I'll deal with all the crime if you, A, guarantee I'm not going to get arrested, because I definitely will as soon as I touch someone who's got a bit of a tan. And B, give me my last 20 years council tax payments back, yeah? I mean, if I'm doing anything, do you want me to just empty all the bins as well, dear? Wanker. And then amusingly, the story culminates with that one. Downing Street refuses to say if the UK rail travel is safe. Amazing. You lie constantly. You lie like a Chinese Rolex. What do you mean you refuse? Just do it, Kate. You do nothing but lie. Is this one a lie too far for you? I'll do it. Allow me, Mr. Starmer. It's not safe. No. When 11 people get knifed by a raving lunatic, it's definitely not safe, is it? Occasionally, a Puma trackie with a hissing backpack gets on the trains as well. So, is it safe? Ask yourself that question. I mean, it's got to be a gotcha question, really. I know I sound like I'm defending him there, but self-evidently, they are not safe. So it's weird how this is the hill he chose to die on. Anyway, that'll do it for the day. It's ludicrous. I'm sure more news will come out. He's probably been arrested 40 times. Probably got a criminal record longer than E.T.'s phone bill. And nobody cares. Because if you look like that, we all know you're basically immune from prosecution, or almost. You've basically got 9 lives, haven't you? If a pasty fella who looks like me keeps doing whatever is going to come out about this fella, you'd end up doing a decent stretch after the 2nd or 3rd or 4th arrest or something. But these lads can just do it again and again and again and again. And Rudu Kanubu again, the litany, the endless list of failures by the useless political activists masquerading as police officers and judges in the UK is laugh out loud funny. It's a sick joke, and it'll only get fixed after things get much, 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 much worse. So leading on from my earlier video, tool yourself up as best you can, lads. Ladies, break out the cast iron knickers. Yeah, the chastity belt needs to become the new fashionista's article of choice. But it won't be your husband's putting them on you. You'll be willfully squeezing yourself into your cast iron knickers, because you won't be able to walk 10 foot without some swarthy foreign chap trying to jam his fist down the front of your knickers. Anyway, that's me for the day. If you disagree, you think the train's totally safe, and you're definitely not going to get diddled by a foreign man, please let me know in the comments, and show me what ingenious invention you've come up with to stop a strange third world man parting your whiskers for you against your will. All right? Thanks for tuning in, ladies and gents. I'll see you all tomorrow. Toodle pip. Cheers.